Welcome in, everybody. Welcome in. I did this reading this morning. I pulled these cards, and it was such a beautiful message. It was such a deeply layered message, and one for me. But I wanted to put it out there for the community. I felt like this needed to be recorded. This message was really beautiful, and you need to hear it also. So the context of this message, this is starting with the box. This is our self-limiting beliefs. This is the layers of our identity and where we place ourselves within our world, within our thinking, within our intentions. And the box can be self-limiting, but it is our belief systems, and they're multi-layered because we grow and we expand our box, and then we keep growing and we expand our box. But we're meant to step outside of that box. We're not meant to hem ourselves in. We're guided through the universal principles to step out of that box thinking and not allow self-limiting beliefs to govern our world. But the box is also there as a reminder of our core essence, that beautiful jewel of who we are inside. And with the Eros, when you think of the love of, and this is an erotic form, this is Eros in its simplest form, love in its passion, in its depth, also with the jewel, the core of our pleasure, of our desire, seeking that which sets us on fire, expanding outward through love, stepping outside of the box into a liminal space of the in-between, knowing that we can grow, we can achieve, we can do more if we allow our beliefs to expand, but with that core remainder of that precious truth, that wisdom of who we are. Keeping our boundaries safe, not walking outside of those truths and those morality truths of protecting ourselves. Stepping outside of the box through love, through wisdom, through the duality, through the masculine and the feminine principles, through conjunction, but expanding our heart with that core principle of truth of who we are. And sometimes we place ourselves, we see this perfect drop, this utopic version, and we put it in a chrysalis, we put it in a resin. We want to freeze it, and we want to say, this is where I want to be, this is who I want to be, this is the perfect time for, this is the ultimate. And it's important for us to realize that in some way that is a limiting belief, that is just a different form of a box. And we have to allow space for the universe to create, because sometimes that perfect thing that we think we want isn't that perfect thing for us after all. And it comes down to that uncreated moment, that perfect seed, the birth of the idea, the birth through wisdom, the birth through intention and creation and surprise, and the universe and magnetism and vibration and energy, bringing in this perfect moment where you realize that you have to let go of the box and the idea that you have formed in order to give birth to something new, in order to create with pureness. We've got come to the edge, poised, time to go, community, to the sea, imagine, loyal heart. And through this poised energy, this Bardo, this liminal space, coming to the edge of something new, moving forward, outside of the box, expanding yourself with this energy, you still have the core truth of who you are. This pleasure, this loyalty, this community, and boundaries that are there for your safety, that you've created. Not being the people pleaser, not just doing things for people because they ask, but because you have space to do it. These are all very important concepts. This is this moment of understanding that you're allowed to create. You're allowed to expand. You're allowed to see the opportunities, but you're also allowed to say no when you need to. This initiation, this adventure, this freedom, understanding you're allowed for this expansion. You're allowed for this birth. You're allowed to see this liminal space in between desire and intention, this creation moment, this adventurous, this freedom, this initiation into the truth of your own creativity, staying loyal to your heart, this rebirth, this unconventionality, this non-conformity. And it is not, most people when they get into understanding themselves, it's a rebirth of freedom. It's understanding that you can say no, you can say yes. If you make space for something, if you allow it in an organic way, and you're not forcing something, you're not sacrificing yourself for somebody else's need. This hard work, progress, and diligent. I like adversary. This putting yourself out there and working hard also means making space for yourself while you're doing it, and not foregoing your own health, not foregoing your own time, not foregoing something that you need in place of moving forward. This, be the observer. Observe how you're interacting within your world. Observe how others are interacting in your world. Those are important distinctions because they help bring focus. They help bring the taming of the wind. And sometimes we can get so excited, we can usher in all this movement and growth. But if we forget the core, we forget the truth, we forget this jewel inside of ourselves, this balance, the marriage of being active and being at rest, this marriage of creativity and inner peace. We can't just keep rushing towards something without balance. Poised. This is a poised moment. This is that balance in the air of being held by the divine, of coming to the edge. And it's that tipping point of knowing that more is coming into your life. You're creating more in your life. Believing in the magic of that. Listening to your blessings, remaining loyal to your blessings, remaining loyal to your heart. With the wisdom of the owl and the ancient ones, this brings in the knowledge of understanding your intuition, of understanding the core essence of your needs, of listening to your truth, of focusing those intentions with balance, breathing into who you are, listening to your guidance, to your inner truth, to your spirit, and trusting your intuition. The serpent, again, brings in that duality, that yin and yang, masculine and feminine principles of inner truth, of listening to the core essence of who you are, knowing that your pleasure derives from that, knowing that you can expand yourself out of the box. You don't have to place limitations, but being true to the essence, to the core of who you are, and protecting that beautiful essence, that planting that seed, that creation, that uncreated creation moment, that life begets life, that initiation point of truth. It's a liminal space. It's an initiation into the freedom of growth, of expansion, but trusting yourself, trusting who you are, and focusing that intention, the transformation of that in your life, to not place yourself in a box and allow yourself to grow, to not place yourself or your wishes and desires into resin, into this little nugget that you worship, but to allow growth to expand in your life, remaining confident in who you are, trusting your inner guidance, remaining loyal to your essence, to what brings you pleasure, believing in the magic, being the observer in your life, not being at cross purposes, but allowing the flow. I hope you understood this message. Thank you so much for listening. Leave it in the comments. It was an interesting, multi-layered point. And I felt like it needed to be shared. Thank you so much.
If this resonated with you, I invite you to carry it forward, subscribe, share, or simply breathe it in.